to First Take. We made it. It is officially Friday. Hello, I am Shae Cornette. He is Ryan Clark, holding it down for me in the studio. You see Stephen A. there in L.A. Cam Newton also with us. Hello, Cam. Good morning from
What's
Atlanta.
up, peeps?
What's going on, everyone?
Good morning, peeps. How y'all doing? How you do? How you do?
We're waking up. I got to be honest.
What's going on?
Last night, a little bit of a snooze fest, if we like points in the NFL. A little bit, but that's okay. Let's dive right into it. The Denver Broncos did become the first team in the NFL to nab 8 wins. That's great. After beating the Raiders at Mile High 10-7, was a defensive battle for the Broncos. They sacked Geno Smith 6 times, but their offense left much to be desired. Bo Nix threw 2 interceptions. Their offense punted 7 times, only netting 220 yards of total offense. Denver has a firm grip on first place in the AFC West, but scoring only 10 points has got to be concerning. Here is Bo Nix post-game last night.
At some point, we got to start moving the football and scoring points. You know, between penalties and just some sluggish football, we're just not playing very good. And it starts with me. I got to be better, and then the rest of the guys will follow along. But we got to find some juice somewhere. We got to find something.
Look, I know that the great Bill Parcells once says you are what your record says you are, but at 8-2, do we really believe that with these Denver Broncos?
Absolutely not. And it's about the way that they win football games. When you look at Bo Nix, you even take last week versus the Houston Texans. This is a team that only scored 18 points, right? They get to 15 in the fourth quarter. He does have the big run to put them in field goal position, but you also have to recognize that they're playing against Davis Mills. And many people might point to the Cowboys game and say, oh, they scored 44 points. Also, Shae Cornette, Stephen A. Smith, quarterbacked by Cam Newton, can go score 44 points against the Cowboys. And so right now, we have to figure out who this team truly is. They aren't even the favorite to win the AFC West, and they're a team that's at 8-2. They have to play the Kansas City Chiefs 2 times, starting with next week after a bye. And Bo Nix is a quarterback, to me, who's regressed. We watched Bo Nix ascend last year. He led all rookies in touchdown passes. You expected to see him take that next step. You expected that Drake May type of maturation, and you are not getting that. If Sean Payton doesn't find a way to get Bo Nix going, this team will be home the first week of the playoffs.
Ooh. Cam?
I like where you at. I like where you at, Ryan Terry, and I'm gonna tell you why. The delusion that has been placed in front of our eyes for the Denver Broncos is this. They've played 3 of the top 5 worst teams in the NFL, in the Titans, the Jets, as well as last night as the Raiders. The only 2 that they missed was probably the Dolphins and the Saints. Now, there's a lot of fluff in their record. Fluff being, okay, we are playing down to our competition. And if you really put a microscope to their 8 wins this particular season, they only have 1 win versus a team with a winning record, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. But the truth is, when I think about Bo Nix and when I'm looking at what Sean Payton has in him, I think the level of accountability has to be there. I'm seeing a situation last night where a team is suffering from one of 3 things: bad decision making, turnovers, or just penalties. And Sean Payton kept some energy with Russell Wilson that I haven't seen him keep with Bo Nix. And I know Bo Nix extremely well, know his father extremely well too, and he's a person that needs to be held accountable. And if you tell Bo, or you make Bo, or you put Bo in a position to say, hey, we need you to play better, that's where this team needs to see growth from their quarterback position.
Hey, fellas, Shae, y'all all know over the last few weeks, I can't thank y'all enough for how much y'all have helped me, because I had the whole dental surgery and I was on the air looking like a chipmunk and all of that stuff. The reason why that's relevant to the point of this conversation is because I've been drugged up on pain medication because of the tooth surgery and all of that other stuff, and I've had a very, very difficult time sleeping over the last 2.5 weeks. I mean, it's been a nightmare. I can't get to sleep until last night. Last night, all that changed. Last night, all that changed. That's exactly what happened. All of a sudden, I was able to finally get some sleep, because I watched this Denver Broncos offense go 3 and out like 8 different times, punt the ball like 7 different times. And I said, my God, this looks atrocious. This is the leaders in the AFC West. Then I started remembering, wait a minute, Kansas City's a couple of games back, and they got not 1 but 2 games against Denver coming up. Now, I know this defense is real, and they're leading the league in sacks. You know, they got at least 12 to 14 sacks ahead of anybody else in the National Football League. And if you can get to the quarterback, which they can do, okay, you know that you can make things happen for yourself. And obviously, the Denver Broncos can do that, so you can't rule out the possibility that they could beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But it doesn't take away from the fact that their offenses look like straight trash. And when you think I'm thinking about Cortland Sutton. I'm thinking about him having like 3 catches. 8 catches for 121 yards over the last 3 games. Last night, 3 catches for 24 yards. I'm looking at Bo Nix complete just 56% of his passes over the last 4 games. And then I'm looking at the talent that they've got on their squad. The J.K. Dobbins, the R.J. Harveys of the world, Sutton I already mentioned, Franklin as well. You've got talent. And then I'm thinking about, this is a Super Bowl champion coach we're talking about in Sean Payton, who is known for his offensive genius, and he's the play caller. I was happy to hear him say he has to do better because he has to do better. It's a pretty bad situation in Denver right now. They are not what their record says they are. They are 8-2, that is true, but it's because of their defense. Even Dobbins spoke after the game and said, it's our defense carrying us clearly. It definitely isn't our offense. And then I think about how they lucked up. You know, yeah, you scored 33 points in the 4th quarter against the Giants, but it was the Giants, okay? And so you look at it from that standpoint and look at the games, that they could have lost this season. I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing. I can tell you that much. They are not as good as their record.
Shae, what's crazy is we're talking about the games they could have lost. This team could actually be undefeated. It took a superhuman play from Justin Herbert to Keenan Allen to beat the Denver Broncos. The Indianapolis Colts actually missed the field goal, and there was a penalty that allowed them to kick another field goal to win the football game. And I get it. When you watch this teams, it is butt cheeks to watch them offensively. Bo Nix is not playing in any way at a high level. But you say to yourself, if Sean Payton can fix what's going on with the quarterback, if he cannot play in panic mode for 4 quarters, what could this team be? Remember, the Kansas City Chiefs were 12-0 in 1-score games. We're seeing the same sort of thing from the Denver Broncos. The difference is we knew who Patrick Mahomes was. We still don't know who Bo Nix is, and that's what gives me trepidation about the Denver Broncos.
To your point, 5 of the last 6 wins for the Broncos have been won by 4 points or less. They have to face Kansas City next week. Kansas City's on a bye this week. Broncos are going to have a little extra time now since they played on Thursday. This will be a good litmus test for both teams, I think, next week. Let's go to a team who we think might actually have some Super Bowl aspirations now. The Colts will face the Falcons in Germany on Sunday. They're hoping to have their new cornerback on the field with them. That would be Sauce Gardner. He did practice with his new team on Wednesday. He hopes to play Sunday if he can pass concussion protocol. The Colts sit at 7-2. And yesterday on this show, Dan Orlowski said the move of Sauce Gardner now puts all the pressure on Indy and their quarterback, Daniel Jones. Listen to this.
Daniel Jones, and here's the thing. Do I believe he can handle the lofty expectations? My answer to that literal question, this year's Daniel Jones, yes. But it's hard for me to unsee the things of the past. It's hard for me to just pretend that for a 3-year stretch, Daniel didn't lead the NFL in turnovers. It's hard for me to pretend that for a 3-year stretch, he was the worst quarterback in football under pressure. And that's the difference with the guy that we've seen this year, is those 2 things he's been exceptional at.
Okay, so you saw RC blocking Stephen A there because he was actually agreeing, Dano was, with one Stephen A. And so, Cam, I'll let you weigh in on this conversation. Do you agree with Dan? Do you think now Daniel Jones has the most pressure on him?
Yeah, I mean, to a point. But I'm going to say no, I do not agree with Dan, because what about the guys since Daniel Jones has been in the league that has been upholding their end of the bargain of leading their teams to the playoffs and getting to the playoffs and may not have had success. But when I think about guys who are under more pressure, it has to be Lamar Jackson. If Lamar Jackson can find a way to get the Baltimore Ravens to the playoffs this year, do you think that oven is not going to be on Thanksgiving heat trying to produce a meal? Absolutely. If anybody else knows what pressure looks like, it may be probably Josh Allen because of what he took home last year in the MVP. But Lamar Jackson has to produce at a level that everybody knows is mixing in his trophy shrine, and that's a Super Bowl. So, yeah, Daniel Jones is playing better than expected. We understand that. We are all surprised by it. But to have the most pressure in the NFL, no, that lands with Lamar Jackson.
No, it's Josh Allen. And it's Josh Allen for me because of what the Buffalo Bills didn't do at the trade deadline. What Brandon Beane saw wasn't a necessity. He watched his team against the Kansas City Chiefs as they're starting to get healthy, and he said to himself, oh, we got enough. We don't have to make a move to go try to stop the run. We don't have to make a move to give him a dynamic playmaker on the outside because we got 17. And 17 is one of the best players in the world. 17, in my opinion, is the most physically imposing quarterback since the man that's on that screen over there played the position. He's not only an MVP, he's one of the greats of this time. And for Josh Allen, here's why the pressure is on. Who is your major competition at the position? It's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a guy that you just beat in the regular season for what I think the 5th time. Now you got to go beat him in the playoffs. Now you have to take over that mantle. Oh, Lamar Jackson is another one who is one of your biggest rivals. His team is down this year. So what you're telling me is your two biggest rivals aren't up anymore. So it should be your time. It should be your opportunity. Nobody expected Daniel Jones to be this dang good or the Indianapolis Colts. We've been waiting on Josh Allen, and it's time for him to take it over because if he doesn't, all of that falls squarely on his shoulders.
Well, that was a marvelous soliloquy, RC. And
it wasn't even that long to be a soliloquy.
It was a soliloquy, but it was all right. I didn't say it was long, but it was a soliloquy. But the point that I'm trying to make is that you're wrong. You're wrong. Cam is right on this one. It's definitely Lamar Jackson. There's no doubt about this. Now, listen, I understand they're in second place, but we all know the expectations for the Steelers holding down the fort for the AFC North crown is a bit suspect, to say the least. If the Baltimore Ravens find themselves in the postseason, along with the Buffalo Bills, we're going to be looking at Lamar Jackson more so. Why? Because, Cam, you know where I'm about to go. You know exactly what I'm about to say. Don't let it be you. Don't let it be you. Don't let it be you. And that's what Josh Allen hasn't done. We haven't looked at him and said it's him. But on a couple of occasions, we have looked at Lamar Jackson and said, yeah, you had something to do with what went down there. So we got to take that into consideration. Then we also have to take into consideration, RC, the kind of year Lamar Jackson has been having, with 31.8 points per game. All right, number 1 in passer rating at 136.7. Number 1 in QBR. Number 1 in touchdown pass percentage, 14 touchdowns, just 1 interception. By the way, over the last 2 years, y'all, Lamar Jackson, a 2-time league MVP, runner-up for MVP last year to Josh Allen. That Lamar Jackson, 55 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. That is an 11-to-1 touchdown to turnover ratio. This brother has been insane, off the charts, unreal, spectacular. And then the playoffs come and you don't show up? Nah. Anybody trying to hear that? We've had this conversation about Lamar Jackson on many, many occasions. We know that his greatness has been cemented. So much so, we've only talked about him during the regular season because of what the Baltimore Ravens collectively haven't been doing. But we all know that if they manage to get themselves in the playoffs, we're going to look at this brother who's 1-6 lifetime against Patrick Mahomes. We're going to look at this brother who's winless against Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen in the postseason, and we're going to say, yo, all that stuff you've been doing in the regular season, where's that stuff now? That's what we're going to do. It's just that simple.
Well, that was an excellent diatribe. I have a question, Shae Cornette.
Yeah.
It was a diatribe.
Are you agreeing with Stephen A. and Cam, or are you on my side here?
I actually really don't agree with any of you, if I'm going to be completely honest. For one, I think if Josh Allen is not facing Patrick Mahomes in the postseason, the pressure alleviates. The pressure becomes solely on Josh Allen if he's up against Patrick Mahomes. In terms of Lamar Jackson, well, yes, there's a lot of pressure of him to perform in the postseason. He's been banged up. Their whole team has been banged up. Their defense doesn't look good. That entire team doesn't look to be the top-tier Ravens team we've seen in the past.
Oh,
so I don't
Shae,
know how much pressure there is on Lamar Jackson. So I would actually say it is on Daniel Jones.
We said, Shae, stop it. We said if he gets to the postseason. If he gets to the postseason, obviously they got problems, and all the problems you highlighted are legit, and that could derail them from making it to the postseason. But if Lamar Jackson gets into the postseason, there will be no one that has more pressure on them than him to finally win because his greatness mandates it. You know that, Shae.
I agree with you. But if these two quarterbacks you guys are talking about, and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, are not facing Patrick Mahomes, then I think the pressure goes elsewhere.
No, because here's the thing. If you're not facing him, then you're supposed to be the guy.
Then there's really no excuse.
It's the same thing. This is Michael Jordan going to play baseball. Right, when Michael Jordan goes to play baseball, if you're Patrick Ewing, you got to go win it. Right, that's when Akeem Olajuwon was able to say, "Oh, this is my time. Give me two." So if you don't face Patrick Mahomes, if for some reason they're out in wild card weekend, I believe that increases the pressure that's on Josh Allen because you're supposed to be the guy. And I do agree with you when you talk about Lamar Jackson. I believe Lamar Jackson is the second in who has the most pressure on him because of what they came into the season doing. But I think us understanding what's going on with that team is saying, okay, we're asking more of Lamar Jackson than we would be the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen.
Go ahead, Cam.
Oh, that's cool. Ron Terry, Stephen Anthony, and welcome to the list because it just hit me. Shae Gertrude Elizabeth, Sweetie Pie,
she gotta have
Bunches
two
of O's.
middle names.
Elizabeth is right.
Is right.
It just speaks to me. I'm a middle name whisperer. When you talk about players, nobody, and this is including Patrick Mahomes, he's cemented. When you talk about Josh Allen, you may have a point, Jason Terry, but the reality of that is everybody knows that Lamar Jackson has such an immense pressure on him, similar to what we kind of gave Peyton Manning during his era when he couldn't win the big game.
Good analogy.
Who know what? Or you know who? Tom Brady. For so long, Peyton Manning had all the accolades, all the passing titles, all this and that. And then all of a sudden, when it came down to playing Tom Brady in the AFC Championship or any type of AFC matchup, he will crumble. He will melt like a ice cream on a hot summer day in Atlanta, Georgia. But the thing about Lamar Jackson is the reality of him knowing that, I'm waiting on Lamar to really elevate his play and say, hey, I'm not going to allow my team to lose. We've seen Patrick Mahomes put on these type of performances. We've seen the greats of a Tom Brady put on these type of performances. We also seen, going to another sport, obviously with the greatest of all time, and Michael Jordan put on these type of performances. It's now time for Lamar Jackson, starting 2-5 and coming back and trying to revitalize the whole season. He's positioning himself to be in that type of talk. I will not allow my team to lose because I'm the difference maker in any type of circumstance, and that's what I'm expecting him to do.
I hope you're right.
3-5 postseason.
Go ahead.
3-5 postseason record for Lamar Jackson. All right, 11 turnovers in 8 career playoff games. In the 5 playoff losses the Baltimore Ravens have had under Lamar Jackson, they've committed 13 turnovers. He's committed 10 of them. This is about you. You let it be you. You're a part of it. We don't say that about Josh Allen. We've said that about Lamar Jackson. That cannot happen again. Against Patrick Mahomes or against somebody else. That cannot happen. Of course, the pressure is on him in that regard.
I've seen Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson be great. We have seen Daniel Jones be horrific for so many years. If he doesn't perform to the level we think he's capable of this year, I think we might have different opinions.